Forster with AVF Consulting LLC. My website is avfconsults.com. This is my fourth mini programming lesson using OpenOffice basic programming language. What I've done in the first three lessons was to basically show you some of the basic techniques for writing computer code. What we did was have a computer subroutine that we could get to by going to Tools, Macros, Macro Organizer, OpenOffice Basic, and opening up a library, which I put a password on so that no one else can screw up your macro code or your basic subroutine code. And that, if you recall, was capital MLesson. That was the password I used for that environment. Now, we started off by just hello world, and I will edit that to show you what hello world looked like. So there's the subroutine. It says hello world, message box, and in quotation marks, hello world, exclamation point. And then I added several other subroutines. One was a delay routine for a delay of 1 second. Another was a delay for 6 seconds. And then there was column A7 hello world, which just put the hello world indicator in a cell, cell A7, rather than putting it in a message box, and the code that was responsible for doing that. Then there was a walking hello world, which got more complicated because it did copy and pasting and removal of the word hello world from each cell as it appeared to walk across the screen. And I even did a little movement of the hello world name in a grid. Then there was a startup routine we had added, which involved getting the exact location of where you're running your file today. In the hierarchy of your computer's operating system, where is this file located? And that required a call to a tools load library that isn't automatically loaded by Apache OpenOffice. Then there was a size window routine that positioned the window at an upper left-hand corner, and then specified the width and height of the window in pixels, and then made so that you could see that this routine was actually working. It bounces the size of the window a little, but ends up at the same size that it was originally positioned at, and then jumps back to cell A1. And then there was a little shutdown routine that would jump to cell A1 and would store whatever modifications you've made in your document, and then used a dispose document to close your document and basically exit OpenOffice. So those are the things we've covered in the last 3 lessons. Lesson 4 is going to show you a number of additional selections or a number of additional subroutines that will make your application appear more like a standalone application rather than just a spreadsheet. So that was lesson 3. We're going to, if you recall what we did with each lesson was we duplicated it and then added it. And what I've done here so that you can see what the mini lesson library looks like in total is I created a rich text file of it, which I'm going to open, and I'm going to zoom back away here. So there's our lesson 3, but I've added some additional code to it, which I'll talk about a little first here. If we go to macros and we choose MLesson4 and open up the mini programming lesson library, if you recall again, capital MLesson was the password. We can look at the additional routines that I've added after the shutdown routine. There's a simple mail to that creates a mail message that it sends out. And the reason for sending out a mail message is, say you have some automated system that's running on a desktop computer at home, but you want to make sure that that desktop computer is still running today and doesn't have any issues. So you have it mail yourself a little email telling you that that computer is still alive. Well, that's what simple mail to is all about. Now, the mail to itself is a little more complicated and uses cells to fill in the mail to address and the subject matter address and the body text address, or the body text that you want to include. Then there's pick a name, which it allows you to click on a cell and then do something with whatever is in that cell. And then there's, and to do that, you have to identify where the current sheet and cell, where your mouse click has been for the current sheet and cell. Then there's a PL notification. This is the program lesson notification that'll just send out a little notify message like you would see if you're getting a notification from a calendar. Auto toggle. If you want to automate this entire thing from starting up the application to running a series of routines within the application and then shutting it down, auto toggle is used to toggle between making that happen and not making all of that happen. Then there's protect a sheet, unprotect sheet, basically protect sheet 1 and unprotect sheet 1, max off and max on. Max on will fill your application to the whole screen, and it will not display any spreadsheet menu selections. So what that means is that you'll, if you start up in this mode of max on, it'll look like this is a standalone application that you developed. Then there's several more. Zoom, when you go to max on, you want to increase the size of everything. So Zoom allows you to have your programs look like it's a magnifying glass that's zooming in to a size that just fits the screen. Then there's hide rows and columns. This is needed for max on and max off so that you don't have rows and columns associated with the spreadsheet. Show rows and columns. View a toolbar if you want a particular toolbar to be displayed or you don't want it to be displayed. Hide the standard bar. A spreadsheet, like if you want to get back to your application having all of the selection capability of a spreadsheet, then you can use this routine. And then quit OpenOffice, which totally flushes OpenOffice from your display so that it's not taking up any CPU cycles, we call it. So that's what I've added to program lesson 4, and we'll kind of show you how that evolved. Okay, so here's I'm going to select the area here, and I'm going to cut this environment, and I'm going to go over here and paste this environment. I also put a couple of just images on here so you could actually see that you can do that. We're going to unprotect the cells so that we can grab these and move them around. And when we move cells like this, sometimes they have a little size difference that we have to deal with. So I'm going to resize this. And I had a series of items here. And these series of items I'm going to take and move over here. And now I'm going to talk about what I have done here. Okay, so here's let's look at this environment. Right now we're at 90%, a zoom level of 90%, as you can see down here. If I go to max on, you see that now this screen takes up the entire screen and even is a little larger than we might want. If I want to turn max off, this will jump the screen back to a size that we can handle. We can do the hello world message box, or the walk hello world, which walks things along. And as you can see, those delays, the 1 second delay that I was talking about shows up. There's a simple mail, which will create an email message and then run an external routine called send mail, which sends off the mail message. And let's see, what else do we have here? We can protect cells. If we click that protect cell, then if I try to type in a cell, it won't let me do it. I get a dialog box that comes up and says protected cells cannot be modified. If I unprotect that cell, like I needed to do to walk those hello world words along, then I can type within the cell. So that's what protect cell and unprotect cell does. Now if we want to use the to, from, subject, and body text here, I can send that mail message out. Okay, and that will send out a mail message. And then we can maximize this, and again you see that everything, any indication that this is an OpenOffice Calc application is gone. We have no entries in here that suggest, other than it says OpenOffice Calc, that we're actually running in OpenOffice Calc. Okay, so then there's, if we want to bring up all of those, we can click on spreadsheets and notice it brings up the row and column headers. We can also view a standard spreadsheet selections like standard and text formatting, but we don't have to. If we turn Max on, all of those are again gone. Max off, and we're back. And then exit, which just exits this application, saves whatever we've changed, and basically allows you to run an application automatically. So let's see how we would do that. We're going to turn auto toggle to on. It's going to run this send routine. We're going to get a notification window that comes up. Program lesson app run at 11:56 a.m. We can close that or leave it up if we want to know how many times that has run. And we're already awake. And then the application quits. So run that even to the point of doing telling the computer to sleep after the application was completed. On a Mac, I use an application called iBees to automatically launch an application, so I could add this application to start at let's say 12:01 p.m. and that would start in at 12:01. It's right now 11:58, so it would start in a few minutes, and I could add this particular application by navigating to my let's see, I'm thinking where I have to go here to get to this environment. And I guess I'm going in the wrong direction here. of course, right? Because I'm trying to do this on the fly. So we'll try one more time. I'll go back to Documents and into Past Dropboxes and into Program Lessons, Lesson 4. And so I can run this Lesson 4 in Program Lessons this way. And I'm going to see if this is going to run at 12:01 right there. So apply. And what I'm going to talk about here for the next minute is just that I've created this library of the programs that I have written and have debugged over the years. And, it's available to someone who wants to get a good start at trying to write computer code that can automate things, that can actually do something that you wanted to do, but if you couldn't be at your desk at the right time each day, it would do it anyway. So that's what this is all about. Okay, so IBs has automatically run the application. I'm going to have to figure out why that's coming up. So the Program Lesson app was run at 12:01. And then it actually quits this application because we have auto toggle on. It recognizes that we're awake. And it actually runs a subroutine called sleep. And I'm going to make sure that sleep is off. But it actually runs that sleep routine for us. I'm going to quit this. And that's it. So I hope this was useful. I hope you see how you can write code and then reuse that code for different applications. I do have I've written a number of applications, including applications that play music and allow somebody to sing along, like a karaoke application, or allow users to enter their name for, say, a club where you want to know who's been at a meeting and who hasn't been at a meeting. So you can click on that. The one thing I'm going to continue to show you here in this mini lesson 4 that I really didn't show is, notice that I've turned off the auto toggle, so it's not going to run those automatic routines or shut down again. But I'm going to zoom in here and show you what happens when we pick a name like Alan, it adds the Alan selection up here, or George, and it changes it to George, or James, changes it to James. It says scanning for name. And it says here, after clicking the pick name button, click on a name to select it, or click the blank to finish. So if I click down here on the blank cell, it will detect that and will say it's finished. So that's a piece of code that you might be able to use. And now I'm going to zoom back out, and I'm going to quit the application. Notice, even though we've made changes to the app, those changes are automatically saved. You don't have to do it. You don't have to decide whether to save your changes. So that's all there is to it. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day.